Like last time, in the last session, we had heard about the Hanuman story in reaching Lanka. Further, his mission, part 2. What happens? So once Ravana, like Hanuman was bound up and he was taken in front of Ravana. So Hanuman is facing Ravana and Ravana became very angry because his dear forest Ashokavana has been destroyed and his army, huge army has been destroyed, and his dear son Akshakumara was killed. So Ravana became very furious. Then, but as an etiquette, he was asking question: who are you? Where did you come from? Who had sent you? What is your mission? So once these questions were asked, Hanumanji praised to Lord Ramachandra by glorifying openly in that assembly the qualities of Lord Ramachandra. So then he starts explaining the mission for which he had come here. He gives warning to Ravana. It's like coming to your house and giving warning to you. So he is going to the Ravana's den and he is giving warning to Ravana only. He is saying, surrender back Sita to Rama. Save yourself. The problem is, if you don't surrender, not only you, your entire family, your entire kingdom will be burnt out. Everybody will be lost. Everybody will be destroyed. Why it is? See, if there is adharma happening, if you are not counteracting, if you are remaining silent, means you are supporting that adharma. So those who take part in that adharma will get reaction for it. So entire people who are silently sitting and not condemning Ravana for his act will all have to also suffer for the consequences. So be ready. He gave a warning, strategical warning. What will be the result? He said entire Lanka will be destroyed. Not only you, your family, entire Lanka will be destroyed. Ravana became infuriated. Arey, you are coming to my place and giving me warning that you will kill me or what? So he thought of killing Hanuman. He became so angry, he wanted to kill Hanuman. But Vibhishana got up and said, see, there are some rules to be followed. He is a Duta, a messenger. A messenger should not be killed. He gave various reasons from Dharma Shastras why messenger should not be killed. Then he said, it is below the dignity of Ravana to kill a messenger. Fighting means Samauji. You should fight with a competent person. So he is a messenger, means you have to fight with the person who had sent you. The second reason he gave us, if the messenger is killed, how will the enemy know about Sita? And they may not even attack us, and by which we are denying them an opportunity to fight and winning for us. So because they don't know where Ravana or where their messenger was caught, how did he finish? So the master will be waiting in confusion. So he may not even attack us. So in that way we are losing a fighting opportunity. So messenger should not be punished. This is the second reason he said. The third reason, messenger should be punished because he had done an act like one, which is not meant like to be done by a messenger. Or you are supposed to deliver a letter, you come and deliver the letter and go away. But what you have done, you have come to deliver the letter, now you have destroyed my house. You have not done your duty as a messenger. That's why now you are worthy to be punished, but not of killing the life. What has he done? He can be punished by disfiguring some part of his body. And like something can be disfigured. So Ravana agreed on this point and he ordered the monkeys. She ordered that monkeys are known for their tails. So their glory, the glory of a monkey is in its tail. So let us burn its tail. Let the monkey tail be set to fire. So indirectly it is an insult to the person who has sent them. So in that way the person, messenger has been harmed. So when he goes back, it is an insult to the person who had sent him. Now then the demons, all the people, they wrapped up Hanuman's tail with the cloth and they started putting oil and they lit fire to that. Now once it is lit to fire, so Hanuman was initially acting as if that fire is burning him. But actually that fire cannot burn him. Why? Because the fire requires air for burning. And air is a friend of fire god, both of them, because one requires the other. And Hanuman is representation of air god. So there is very messy, sometimes this warmth in winter, that the fire in summer will be very unbearable, but the same fire in winter will be cozy. So similarly, he was feeling as if like his body is he is experiencing that mild warmth. Hanuman was feeling that, because fire god is not showing his fierce form there. So then, if Brahmastra could not harm Hanuman, what to speak of this insignificant material fire? This is the second reason. So then, Hanuman wanted to show that fire cannot harm him, and he wanted to set fire to the Lanka. He wanted to see, I think recently one movie has come, Adipurush. They have made one dialogue. What is the dialogue? Kapda tera baap ka, और तेल तेरा बाप का, आग तेरा बाप का, जलेगा भी तेरा बाप का. Means they have used their own equipment to destroy themselves. That they have done in a very cheap perspective, but actually it's in a glorified perspective. See, Lanka was built by Vishwakarma. He is an architect of the Devatas who had built Lanka with a fireproof technology. Then how it is possible for Hanuman to burn Lanka? So Acharya say Hanuman burnt Lanka by his personal effulgence. Fire is only naam ke vaste. By his spiritual capacity he burnt the Lanka, because material perspectives can never harm Lanka because it is fireproof. So it is possible only by higher perspectives, by his spiritual perspectives. So that's why he was able to burn Lanka. Fire is only naam ke vaste. So then after burning Lanka, then except two places, Ashokavana and Vibhishna's house were left over. So Hanuman realized his anger had created so much destruction. He thought whether Sita would have got killed or what. He became very anxious. He wanted to actually commit suicide at that perspective, some mentality. He wanted to renounce the world, because if he goes back, if Sita is dead, what will Ramachandra think? Because by getting to know that Sita is not there, Lord Rama will not be there. If Rama is not there, Lakshmana will not be there, and all the other major people also quit their life. I will be the cause of their death. Like that, he was feeling so much like personal injustice he has done. That fit of anger he has destroyed everything. But there were Shubha Shakunas everywhere. The demigods were all glorifying him. So when he went there to Ashokavana, he saw Sita was alright. Then he assured Sita that nothing had happened. Very soon Rama will come, he will fight with Ravana, and he will ceremonially take her back in a respectful way. After giving so many assurances, he started flying back. He reached, but before he was about to reach, he made a huge sound. So why did he make a huge sound? So it is like a victorious symbol for the opposite. So many his friends are all waiting there. Angada, Jambavan, they are all waiting there. So they could ceremoniously receive him. So they all could understand, yes, Hanuman is coming victorious, means he could identify Sita, and he is coming back to retrieve the glory. So all of them celebrated the victory of Hanuman. They were all chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra. So they started moving towards Kishkinda to inform Lord Ramachandra that Sita has been alive. On the way there was one forest of Madhuvana, which was very dear to Sugriva. So they all entered to that Madhuvana, they all destroyed all the trees and everything and all. So the gatekeepers who were supposed to take care of, so these monkeys have given them black and blue, they bet them heavily. So they went and complained to Sugriva that your garden has been destroyed. See, the same garden of Ravana, which was very dear to him, was destroyed. When it was destroyed, Ravana became very angry. And Sugriva's dear garden was also destroyed. When it was informed, he became very happy, because he knew that Hanuman had executed. That's why they had destroyed that garden, out of excitement, not out of insult or to create anger. So Sugriva could understand, yes, they are successful in their mission. So Hanuman came back, he fell down obeisances at Lord Ramachandra. He placed that Chudamani at his feet. So Ramachandra became very happy. Then he had asked all the details what happened. Hanuman narrated the entire thing, what he had seen in Lanka, how he had saw Ravana, how he had gave warning to Ravana, how he burnt the entire Lanka, what is their strength, what is their capacity. He narrated entire issues, and he narrated that only 2 months time is there for Sita Devi to be retrieved before Ravana attacks or kills Sita Devi. So the mission has been successful, and Ravana, not only he himself, he said all the monkeys were helpful in reaching this perspective. So all the monkeys got the mercy of Lord Ramachandra. So similarly, so if we also engage in the instructions of Prabhupada, in the mission of Lord Chaitanya, as Hanuman brought all the monkeys to the shelter of Lord Ramachandra, Srila Prabhupada will also take us to the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by which we will attain that mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and our lives also will become successful. So that we should be our endeavor. So when the mission is given to us, so we should be dedicating our manasa, vacha, karma to that mission. That is called as samadhi. So then Hanuman, then after Hanuman successfully done all these endeavors, Lord Ramachandra got up and he wanted to gift him back. Because as a king, generally when they become very happy, they gift whatever is there. But Ramachandra is in the forest with nothing, so he gifted himself. He said, he hugs Hanuman, he said, I am yours. So what more do you want? Lord Ramachandra is surrendering himself to his devotee, because he had done an activity which nobody could do. So in that way, Hanuman's glory has been well known. We all know how better devotee he was. So by listening to all these perspectives, we can also derive inspiration how we should be engaged in devotional service.